What is up, guys? Jaden here. So if you're new to my videos, I have GERD/LPR, and I just recently had surgery, anti-reflux surgery called the Toupet Fundoplication. I've been saying Toupet Fundoplication this whole time, but then I realized it was called Toupet, unless somebody mispronounced that, and then I just believed it. But it sounded more like, Toupet to me. So but anyway, so today is day 5 of recovery for me. I had surgery last Monday, and I think in my other video I didn't give a accurate representation on the recovery process, and that's for a number of reasons. The first day, I was still under anesthesia. A lot of the effects of that, I was under the effects of the heavy pain meds they gave me at the hospital, plus the Norcos that I took back at my house. So I didn't really feel any of the recovery that day. All I could feel was like the bloating, and then some of like the gas that they pump into me in my shoulders and my chest, and definitely my stomach. But the pain and the symptoms were hard to tell on those days. So day 1 through 3 went okay for me. And I was taking my pain meds the entire time, like on the dot, like 6 hours apart from each other. So there wasn't really too much of an overlap in pain. Trying to lay down with the incisions. Trying to lay down with the incisions is a little challenging because I'm a side sleeper. So that's a little bit difficult. And it was more difficult on days 1 through 3 because it really hurts those days, even with the pain medications. And what else? Yeah, so after like day 3, so yesterday and the day before that, and even today, there's a weird sensation that I get, kind of happening right now too, and it kind of comes and goes. Today's actually been pretty mild compared to like yesterday. But there's a sensation of like air coming back up my chest and into my throat, like an air bubble is coming back up, kind of like a burp. But you have to kind of let it pass, because it's really hard to like breathe kind of sort of when it's happening. And I don't want to freak anybody out that's getting this procedure. I truly believe it will work. It's just the human body has anatomy naturally, and when that anatomy is fucked with, it takes time to get back to normal. But I'll be transparent. Let's see, the night before last night, I was getting a lot of symptoms. The air bubble kept coming back up. I dropped my phone and I reached for it, and that kind of like I felt like I pulled something. I actually thought I undid the wrap that they made, because I felt the pull on it, and then I could feel it as I was breathing, like something like pushing against like my sternum right here, directly, like right here, the bottom portion of my chest and between the stomachs, like my diaphragm area, and that sucked. So I tried to go back to sleep. I woke up an hour and a half later, and I had like heavy saliva, like so much saliva in my mouth, and then to the point where I thought I was actually going to throw up. So I kept spitting out, and then my mouth would just fill back up with saliva. And then I was like, fuck, like what the hell is happening here? So I actually went to the ER because I didn't want to throw up and then undo like the whole surgery that I already did. Plus I wanted to find out what happened to the wrap. So I went to the ER. It was very uncomfortable. They asked if I wanted pain pills or whatever. I at that point, I just wanted to get off the medication because I thought the medication could be playing a part in my symptoms. Plus, Norcos really do stop you up and stuff like that. So I just know that I needed to get my stomach to, I need to start taking shits. I need the gas to get moving. I need this whole process to really start healing. I don't care about the pain. I've been through a lot of pain in my life. So after that, I did a CT scan. They made me drink this solution, which is really hard for me because I get those air bubbles when I drink water and other fluids, and that's all I can do right now. So if I'm just going about my day, it's not terrible with the air bubbles, but when I drink and stuff, that's when it comes up the most. So I got to drink in little slow sips, and I had to chug it. Actually, they made me chug like this much of it, and it sucked. And then I had to lay straight down, which is like the worst thing to do. so I could just feel it coming up, and I just closed my eyes, and I had to put my hands up here, and I was just waiting for it to go away. And yeah, the CT scan, my surgeon looked at it. He said that the wrap is fine, everything's good. I was relieved about that. And then I was still kind of freaking out though, because I'm like, why the fuck am I having this like saliva symptoms, and why am I feeling like this, and what the hell is this air bubble thing? Like, nobody on Reddit has said anything about that, and even on the recovery paper nobody said anything about that. But I did hear a few people, just me going around telling people about what's wrong with me whenever people ask how I'm doing or whatever, or family members are concerned. Through word of mouth, I've heard that people who have hiatal hernia surgery sometimes have that air bubble coming back up. And the surgeon, I sent my surgeon another message later the same day, because like, I'm freaking out, man. Like, I just want my life back. I just want to eat the foods that I want again. I want to be able to go out with friends and have a few drinks and not have to worry about not being able to breathe the next day. I want to, if I have to work early, I want to be able to have a late night meal if I'm starving. Like, if I pulled a lot of overtime, and I want to be able to have a late night meal when I'm starving and lay down and not feel like I can't breathe the next morning, and clearing my throat constantly. And more than anything, like, I just want to go back to regular life, like, not to be limited by this awful condition. So I was really stressed out yesterday, and I sent my surgeon a message. He calls me, and then he says, like, by the way, I looked at the thing, I looked at your CT scan. He said everything's good. Also, you had I forgot to tell you, like, you had a hiatal hernia. And then I was like, oh, I didn't know that, because I had endoscopies before. I had 2 endoscopies before, and this was with another practitioner, but she did not see the hiatal hernia. But on the when my surgeon had to do the endoscopy, as he was doing the surgery on me, he saw the hiatal hernia, which makes so much more sense why my symptoms were in my esophagus and in my throat, because those are very common symptoms for people with hiatal hernias. So essentially, I could have had a hiatal hernia since my symptoms began with the throat clearing when I was 23 originally. With the throat clearing, GERD started at 21, but at 23 I had my throat clearing get pretty bad, and it progressively got worse. So I probably got a hiatal hernia somewhere along that line, or even possibly when I was 21 in the beginning. But because they stuck me on the medication to stop the acid, that could have just negated the effect a little bit of the hiatal hernia, but caused the really bad throat clearing and the esophagitis that I have, because the stomach contents are still coming up and irritating my throat. It's just not acid. So I was actually really relieved that he said that the part about the hiatal hernia, in addition to doing my fundoplication, the partial fundoplication wrap, because it made more sense to me. And when you take something that was in a certain spot and you push it down, it's going to take the body time to adapt. So today I've been feeling quite a bit better. Yesterday I was really depressed. I was really down bad. I was in the hospital for a long time. And I'm just being transparent, because I think everybody should know what they're getting themselves into. Like, don't think it's, at least for me, like, don't think it's like an easy walk in the park surgery, because hiatal hernia and fundoplication is a fairly moderate surgery. It's not like open brain surgery, open heart surgery, but it's up there. You know, they're playing with vital organs. So, yeah, I feel better today, and I truly think that I will continue to feel better. But I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm still a little bit down, just from what happened, and just from like the sheer amount of time that has been spent with me dealing with this. And I'm just so over it at this point. I'm so done with it. I'm just ready to go back to life. So I don't have any super positive news yet, being completely honest. But I do feel much better today so far than I did yesterday. So that's a plus. I'll take every win I can get. And I'm just focused on every single day, just remembering that it's not the end result, it's the process. And I think I talked about it in another video, but it's really important to keep in mind that whenever you're battling something chronic, or whenever you're going through some tough times, remember, it's building your character. It's making you a stronger person. My fiance wrote, she writes me notes pretty much on a daily basis and sticks them up on our mirror, our shared bathroom mirror. And I forgot the exact quote of what it said on the flip side, but she writes her little note, and then there's like a quote on the flip side. And the quote said something to the effect of, you become stronger than anything that you faced. So if you face something strong, you gain that strength when you beat it. So keep that in mind whenever you're going through a really tough time. If you beat something, or forget beating it. Like if you're in the middle of the battle, like I am now, and I know how tough this has been on me mentally and physically over the course of this whole period. But if somebody hasn't faced that before, I have an advantage over them. I have an advantage over who I was before this condition. I'm stronger because I went through that. So these obstacles, it sucks while you're in them, but all you can do is control what you can control. And in my case, I didn't feel right. I went to the ER, got the CT scan, talked to my surgeon. That's all I can do. That's all I can do. And they said pretty much like, hey, you just got to heal. So that's all I can do. I'm along for the ride. I continue to try my best with the liquid diet every single day, keep a positive mindset. And that's it. That's all I can do. And the process will take care of itself. So that's it. So every single day, just focused on doing that liquid diet, trying to get enough calories in, because that's a struggle too. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'll be hitting you guys with an update probably about 4 days or 5 days from now, maybe a little bit later. I don't know, but I'll be consistent about it. So, all right. See y'all next time.